Hi, this is Amethyst, and in this tutorial I will be showing you how to take a digital photograph of your traditional piece of art, how to edit it, give it a nice white background, and remove any elements that you do not want. So first thing is you need your photograph of your traditional drawing in Photoshop. You want to have white as your foreground color, and this is optional, but I'm working in photography mode. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Image, Adjustments, and Curves. I was really intimidated by curves at first, but don't be, because we're just going to do something really simple here. We're going to select the white eyedropper, and then find about the lightest area of your image in the background, which is about here. Click. Oh, our image is nice and bright and white now. We're also going to click the little black one. Find an area of your image that should be the blackest point, like this little dude's foot. Click. And it evens it out a little bit. Brings the black lines back to the forefront. So click OK. Now we have this background. It's not perfectly white. We've got kind of a bluish, pinkish, green thing going on in the background. So we're going to use, make sure your foreground color is white. And then we're going to use the magic wand tool. When you are clicking with the magic wand tool, keep holding shift and you can select more than one area at once. So we're going to start at the darkest in the corner. Shift and click here, 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 here. Don't worry about the little monster dude, we'll take care of him in a minute. And once you have that all selected, we're going to just click delete on your keyboard. And it'll ask you what fill you want to use, and you want to say foreground color because it's white. Click OK. Wow, awesome! Cool. Now we can unselect there, and I'm just going to use the square select tool. Click this little guy in the corner and delete. Foreground color white. Cool. OK. So now that looks pretty good. You might not be able to notice it at first glance, but when we were selecting earlier with the shift and select magic wand, we missed some little finicky spaces in here, and I really don't like going through and trying to get them all. So what I do is I just do the general magic wand tool around here, and then for little finicky spaces, I like to go select color range, and you want to have it around 45, 50, 60. And you want to click the little dropper tool in here where it's kind of pink still. And, or here would be good. Yeah, that's good. So when you're using color range, what is selected in this little preview is white, and what is not selected is black. So if you increase the fuzziness, you can see it starts to select our monster, and we don't want to change the color of him. So make it just be around 40, 50, 60, whatever. You can get the most in the background, most of the background without actually selecting the monster. So let's do 49, OK. And now we have all the little finicky spaces selected, and we're just going to click delete once more. Foreground color white, OK. Perfect. And now, again, not very obviously noticeable, but those little finicky spaces that were slightly off white pink before are now all nice and white. And here we have our monster, and you could leave it as is, but sometimes when you take a photograph and then with the curves you lose some color, some brightness, or it looks a little different than you want it to, or you can just play around with the color. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go Image, Adjustments, and Hue Saturation. So you can use Master and go along this little bar here, and oh, he could be kind of yellow and green, or maybe he could be purple. I like him the way he is, so I'm going to do reds. And here the reds are in the leaves and his body. I'm going to bump up the saturation, maybe 10, and I'm going to darken him up a little bit, maybe 5, -5. Okay, so that looks a little bit more vibrant with the reds and the browns. And his eyes. This is another way to change the color. We can go Image, Adjustment, Replace Color. We can select the red here in the eye. There, that's about right. And you can increase the fuzziness again, but you don't want to increase it to the point where you're bleeding into what you don't want to have the color change. And so we're going to bump up the saturation, maybe 10, and bump down the lightness to -10. And you can see from the preview, it's darker in the eye and leaf area after our adjustment. So there, I think my monster looks perfect. And that was a brief and not very professional tutorial on how to take a traditional drawing that you have a photograph of, put it in Photoshop, remove any elements that you don't want, and give it a nice white background.